This morning's Breakfast Bible Bytes picks up in Psalm 66 and verse 7, where God is still king and Satan, the prince of darkness, has been judged. Verse 7 of Psalm 66 reads, He rules by his might forever. His eyes keep watch on the nations. Let not the rebellious exalt themselves. Selah. We may be inclined to ask why Jesus, who is the King of Kings, calls Satan the ruler of this world, if our Creator rules by his might forever. You will recall in John 12:31, where Jesus acknowledges this by saying, Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be cast out. Did you notice the words will be cast out? Even though, according to John 16, the ruler of this world has already been judged. I believe the King James Version has a more correct interpretation of the Greek word archon, where the person of Satan is identified as only a prince. Most of us are somewhat familiar with royal hierarchy and understand that a prince has privileges and some power, yet he remains under the authority of the king. God, the King of Kings, uses Satan as the prince of who is the prince of darkness, as if he were a delegate to separate for himself a people through testings and temptations that will prove the faithfulness of the chosen, and with whom the King of Kings is willing to love and adopt into his royal family. The Father is in the process of electing those with whom he intends to spend an eternity, both from the nations and the individuals within the nations. With a level of disrespect intended, Satan is but a useful puppet and a tool of our Creator, which is clearly illustrated in his feeble attempt at the temptation of Jesus in the wilderness, a narrative that most of us should be familiar with in Matthew 4:1 through 11. Jehovah has never ceased to rule. The proudest of men or nations have no cause to exalt themselves. Only when we see the world that is through spiritual eyes, or envision the world that is yet to come through our Creator's eyes, we should be able to humble ourselves and get on our knees before him. In part 1 of this psalm, the psalmist was describing our Lord's gracious benefits, evidenced by his faithful liberations. Then in the second part of this wonderful psalm, we will see the poet has implied a prophetic inclination, and certainly in our hindsight, the Spirit describes through David Israel's future. There is a video that came on the market in 2015. It only had a limited one-night stand in select theaters. However, it is an excellent teaching tool that archaeology validates, where archaeology validates the Exodus, and certainly is worth renting, buying, or sharing. The title is Patterns of Evidence. And as of this posting, a weblog is still available when you Google patterns of evidence, one word, .com. All right.